And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Arbitration Studios, continuing our journey across the whole damn thing of the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Captain Jack.
And after we recruited a 8-foot-tall, 2-ton massive angry, I think that's the only way to describe a Krogan.
Beautiful. That's how I would describe Krogan. Beautiful.
So, anyway, we got a message of, oh, hey, we're going to stop the free flow part of the game, and you're going to do things in a structured fashion like a proper video game, goddammit.
There's something else you should know.
Indeed.
So,
here we have,
One of your
again,
former crew, Ashley Williams.
President Jed Bartlett.
That's right.
I don't know what the Elusive Man's, quote, real name, close quote, is, because I never read Mass Effect Extended Media beyond the first book, which had a Quarian wandering around with his face uncovered, and it's just like, okay,
yeah, no,
there's no
I'm not okay
coordination
with that.
going on here.
I'm not okay with that.
Um,
I'm not down.
So, in my mind, it's not the Jed Bartlett who finally, like, after 200 years said, fuck humanity, we're doing things my way. It's just, his name is Jed Bartlett.
Yeah. No. My headcanon is that he's a descendant
Of Jed Bartlett.
And honestly, his entire thing is not that much different from his illustrious ancestor. He just has decided that humanity isn't going in the right direction.
So, I gotta ask you this. We learned the truth later on, but anything about this whole setup says... Did it ever say to you when you first played this, is it just me, or am I going to get, like, lightly screwed here? It's too early for a total betrayal, but...
Oh, see, I always assume everyone will betray me in every situation, both in life and in video games. So there is, at no point did I not feel like I was going to be betrayed.
Yes.
In fact, I automatically assume that one of my companions will betray me, which is kind of funny because
there's a couple of situations in Mass Effect 2 where if you play your cards wrong, they will point a gun at you.
This is true, but there is.
I do have to ask one quick question.
Yeah.
Where did Morgan get one of those creepers?
Oh,
or seeker swarm
oh
bugs?
yeah. You
We've got a
from
Still can't
the
validate
first
the targeting matrix? Those defense towers are useless if we
from
don't
the
figure
first
it
mission.
out. Sorry, Chief. Getting our comm systems back online
Well,
takes
they
priority.
found a dead one lying around?
They found a live one during the
Surprised
first
people
mission.
haven't tried to blame that
That
one on me
doesn't
too.
make
People
a-
out
okay.
here don't trust
Okay,
the
I'm rolling with
Alliance.
Yeah, go ahead,
It's
roll with it.
nothing personal.
Oh, look, there she
What
is.
is
Ash.
Ash Williams, our little space racist. Speciesist, I believe, is a more appropriate term.
Yeah, speciesist.
Get everyone to the safe house.
And it's... I don't... Rejection of the label of the speciesist is a little beyond, because her concerns have nothing to do with the fact of, aliens are gross. It is almost entirely political, and it is almost entirely based on the fact that humanity is low man on the totem pole for literally everything. So, a casual mistrust of aliens who have been wandering around in a more powerful position than humanity is, I kind of get. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with the fact that they're aliens. That's just convenient. It's sort of like how some middle-tier developing country has little trust for the United States on the world stage. Do they have things to offer the world? Yes, but they're also very paranoid about being exploited. That's what it is. It's a paranoid mind state, not a not a racial mistrust. It's too easy to, I think, to label it as racial.
Although that being, and she does come around though.
Yeah,
She does
especially if
come
you're
around.
a Paragon playthrough.
Indeed, she does come around.
So let's talk about the Collector, shall we?
Indeed, let's talk about the collectors.
First off, this ability I actually really like. I love that
yeah.
their leader is able to essentially supercharge any Joe Schmo guy and then control them directly and turn them into a biotic god, the likes of which only Pitney 4 may ever bask in our presence could match.
Indeed. Poor Pitney.
But, anyway, design-wise, I kind of dig the roach aesthetic to them because, especially in later revelations, the near impossible to kill, so you just work with them, sort of.
Well, I think that one of the things that sci-fi in general they kind of classify things, and the insectoid enemy is kind of it's a trope, but it's not it's not an unwelcome trope, if you will. It makes a certain amount of
these
sense.
armor upgrades will protect us from the seeker
there's a
swarms?
certain amount of
Certainly
alien
impossible,
thought
but in
process
limited
that
numbers
goes
should
in
confuse
where
detection, make us
another
invisible to swarms.
slightly more
Theory.
mammalian
In theory, that
species,
sounds promising.
even though they may
Experimental technology.
have reverse proteins so that they can't eat what we
Only
eat,
test
so
is
that they're a little
contact with seeker
different,
swarms.
such as
Have to
the
test them in person.
Turians
Should
Turians and Quarians. But they, at the very least, have kind of similar thought processes in how they go about their business, whereas an insectoid creature probably doesn't. An insectoid creature is
Truly
not
alien motivations.
Yeah, and they're not going to have the individualistic sort of thought process that mammalians tend to have. You know, so not that they go into this, but it kind of is a little bit, I want to say, hinted at that they're working on a hive mind, where that their overlord has kind of control over all of them, since he can kind of jump in and jump out.
Yeah, but it's also
Censorship
clearly
disrupting
not direct
communications.
control because
Right,
first off,
because he has to take direct control.
but there is sort of a lack of self.
Which I think is a really, it's a hard thing for, especially certain cultures of humanity, but humanity in general, to kind of empathize with is this sort of idea of the whole instead of the self,
And even for what attempts at collectivism, as far as it can exist with a higher functioning creature like human beings are, it is a strictly enforced social contract, and the need for that social contract is dictated by environment. Collectivism didn't work in the United States because
got that technology
we
from
have the Americas are an entire
working with
continent
Reapers.
that has been relatively unexploited and extremely resource rich compared to large swaths of the world.
I can use this.
Up until relatively recently, collectivism was in no way, shape, or form needed.
And likewise, was needed
Husks
because
have
you
human
have
characteristics.
you know,
possibly
you have
repurposed
hierarchical collectivism,
The
collectivist
Geth impaled their
cultures,
victims on giant
which
spikes to
often
turn them into
formed
husks.
like absolute
But we haven't
monarchies
seen any.
in
The collectors must have already
in
had the husks.
East
They
Asia,
want the
where
colonists
very
alive. Something
little
else.
of the land is arable.
Collectors must be
for much
experimenting on the
more
colonists.
for either livestock raising
What
or
are they up
for
to?
Maybe it's better not
or
to know the
for
details.
cereal grain
Find
crops.
out for sure when you stop them.
You
These
you
aren't the
needed to
same
have that
creatures I
strong
fought on Eden
centralized
Prime.
control, but even
They're
then,
more advanced.
it's
Evolved.
difficult
They
for
still die if you shoot
an
them.
ape-descended species like us to
Collectors
let
aren't getting
go
away
of that
with more
sense of
victims.
self.
Let's move out.
I
Let's
think
go.
that all of the problems in the future of Mass Effect
All
would
these
have been
empty
solved
buildings.
by making us king,
It's uncertain.
or
No
queen,
signs of resistance.
or
Plus,
whichever gender-specific pronoun form on it you wish to use. Punch him in the face. I have a long-running love of punching the enemy in the face.
That's why we're Agatha goddamn Fisty.
My entire playthrough of Star Trek Online was based around punching a plane. That's the only reason I played that was to punch a plane. And in this game, I have punched every creature that it is possible to punch, and I feel good about myself.
I had a real problem with what exactly I wanted to do with the character that shows up later. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But,
well, my answer is always punching.
Shooting was an option as well.
Oh, I mean, shooting is fun and everything, but the thing is that shooting is so final. Punching, you know, depending on who you're punching, you may be able to kind of make the situation go a little different.
I'm in prefabricated hell right now.
I know.
The 9 circles of block apartments.
Right, but you know, I think about it.
Conscious,
Think about
fully
it.
aware, trapped in
How
stasis.
horrifying is that?
Fascinating.
It's better
I've
than
been like
nothing.
this a long time.
You know, it's better than having no place to live. However, you know, because I've had to live in similar environments, but horrifying. Honestly,
horrifying. How horrifying is it to be suspended in place, no ability to control your body, and even like, you know, you're not only are you fully aware, but then you run into things like, you know that gravity should be like pulling you down because you're mid-run, and it's not.
Indeed. Well,
you're truly locked in a place in space and time.
We have picked up what is my personal favorite heavy weapon,
the collector laser.
Indeed.
I'm more a fan of either the Tesla coil or the crossbow.
I like a good. I'm not sure if it's a proton accelerator, isn't it?
Particle beam of some type.
Particle beam. Yeah, I'm kind of partial to that. Realistically speaking, that would be a goddamn terrifying hand weapon. Like for a infantry person to carry.
Now, if we're talking about a monomolecular particle stream of some type, then yes, you would have strong penetrative and cutting potential, but its impact would be minimal.
Not difficult.
I mean, there is such a thing as too precise when it comes to particularly weaponry.
Well, you know, I'm personally a fan of anything that has deep penetration.
Yes, I've seen your search history.
I believe in deep penetration.
And pro tip there, the secret to taking care of the collectors when one is assuming direct control, just shoot him as much as possible before he can do anything.
Absolutely. If you're one of the 10 people on the planet that has not played this game and is thinking of playing this game, please do yourself a favor and do that. Otherwise, it gets sticky.
It's the Dragon Ball Z problem of
Get out here now.
Here, let me charge my energy for 3 episodes. I'm just gonna punch you in the face. What? Punch.
Here we have
Space Redneck.
generic space redneck number 304.
Government's
I
always
cleared a
just giving
path.
us problems,
You're lucky
giving
you're
us
not in the
those
hold of a
artillery
collector
cannons
ship right
to
now.
defend ourselves
Those
from
things are
pirates,
collectors?
alien roaches.
mean,
What the hell were
they're
they
real?
thinking? We didn't need no government
I thought they were just made up.
to defend us, even though I'm
propaganda
the only
to
person
keep us
left
in a line of
alive.
space. No, they got Lilith. I
I
saw
thought I had something there.
You're good. I was letting you cook.
What's your name?
I was going to let you
What do you
cook on
do
that
here?
one.
He's the man.
You know,
Mechanic.
he's
I came down to check
this
on
is
the
the
main grid after we lost our
representation.
comm
Honestly,
system.
I think overall this
I
is
heard
probably he's
screaming.
probably a good
Looked outside and
representation
there was
of
sworms of bugs.
who all of
Everyone they
these sort
touched
of
just froze. I sealed the doors.
colonists
It's the
kind of
Alliance's
would be.
fault.
Like
They stationed
the
at
kind
Chief
of
Williams here and built those defense
anti-government.
towers. They
Like
made us a target.
you know, let us
Tell me more about
go
this
and let
alliance.
us
You
do
can't
our
have 5
thing.
square feet of
Williams?
my properties to
Thought she was
build
some
a
kind of
light
hero or
post,
something.
and I will
Didn't mean
defend
nothing to
that
me,
5
though.
square feet with
Would rather
guns
she
if
just
I
stayed
have
back
to.
in
You
council
have
space.
spaceships.
Yeah, it's sort of a
Any idea what she's doing on Horizon?
libertarian on
Supposed to be helping us get the defense towers
space
up and running.
space
I got the feeling she
steroids.
was
You
here
know,
for something else.
it's
Spying
not
on
bad
us.
enough that he has to find an entirely new country to go and colonize. No.
Tell me about the
It's
Colony
bad
Defense
enough that he
Towers.
has to go find
A
an
gift
entire
from the
new
Alliance.
planet.
High-powered Guardian lasers. Supposed to keep hostile ships from landing near the colony.
Sending me their
Had to build a
metal
massive
up there.
underground generator just to
Wearing
give it enough
soldier to
juice.
come in
Only
after
we couldn't
my
get the
ass. I
targeting
ain't gonna
systems
pay no
online.
taxes.
So the
Yeah,
Alliance
Would you
needed a
shut up for
giant
5
gun that
minutes
couldn't
and
shoot
let me
straight.
save you?
Stupid sons of bitches.
You
I-
can go back to bitching about how you're oppressed out here in the middle of nowhere all by your
Why do you think this
lonesome
is the
when
Alliance's
people don't
fault?
even know you
We're
really
just a small
exist.
colony.
Yeah,
Nobody bothered
exactly.
us before we
He's
started
complaining
building
about
those
government
damn defense
taxes,
towers and drew
while
attention to
he's getting
ourselves.
eaten by a
I left
bear.
council space to get away from the
You know,
Alliance.
that's
Nothing good
the sort
ever
of
comes from
mentality
getting
we
mixed
have
up with
going
them.
here.
There's this great book. It's a nonfiction book about
Yes.
a bunch of libertarians took over a town in like Vermont, I think it
The
is.
Alliance
A
doesn't care
libertarian
about the
walks
terminus
into a
colonies.
bear, and it's
Damn
about
straight,
a
that's
town
what I
in
tried to
New
tell
Hampshire.
everybody.
Actually,
The Alliance didn't
Hampshire.
send
Yeah.
us out
Your
because
home
they
state.
wanted to
in
help
my
us.
home state.
They were
Yes,
after something,
I'm
always
well aware.
are.
I have to say that
If you have
the
defenses,
town
we
has
can
never
use them
recovered.
against the collectors.
Honestly, after
You'd need to
it.
calibrate the targeting system first. It's never worked
But
right.
Shouldn't be hard to figure
yeah,
out.
you
Just
would
the
think,
location.
but
Head for the main
bears tend
transmitter on the other
to
side of the colony. It's
kind
pretty
of
hard
put
to
a
miss.
damper.
The
Yeah,
targeting
well,
controls
hey,
are
here's what we
things.
do. We collect taxes and we pay
It's probably
for
just better if you
trash
stay out of the
pickup
way.
services.
Yeah,
No, we're
that's
gonna
what I was
assemble a
thinking,
posse.
I'll let you
Okay,
out, but I'm
fine.
locking the door behind
Everyone get your
you.
guns.
I'm not
We don't
taking
have
any
to.
chances.
Why?
Good luck. I think you're gonna need it.
We're in New Hampshire where there are bears.
Yeah, but they're small bears.
The bears wouldn't be a problem if we had trash pickup. Yeah, but that would require us to, like, collect taxes. It's literally, a town of 350 families, $2 a person there.
Yeah, it is.
Look out!
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Well, it's so
honestly.
self-defeating at times. I've been joking lately that the Kansas state legislature wouldn't take 75 cents in quarters out of the treasury in exchange for $1, so that way you could get a soda from a vending machine, even though the state would make money on that deal.
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to get a soda. And it won't take my $1. Come on.
it's there's when it comes to this sort of thing, it's you colonize a planet, you want to be free, you want to be the one making it, and it's not really so much about freedom as much as it is about you being the one making all of the decisions.
Space Karens.
Space Karens. That's really what it is.
And you can tell that they have no idea what they're doing because look at the urban planning.
And now we get to my big complaint right now about urban planning: the fact that the roads in this city are falling into each other and before my eyes, just disintegrating. At least wise here they don't have any tracked vehicles, which is really weird.
This looks interesting.
But I digress.
We just got speaking of Republicans and
It's odd we haven't run across more frozen colonists.
Colonists loaded onto ship.
And
Collectors nearly finished here.
calls me
Need to
Uncle.
hurry.
That must have been whoever had this phone number previously. But whoever had this phone number previously, this phone number was originally my dad's, and it was established in 1990.
Is your dad a big donator?
No, well, not so much these days. He's one of those Republicans that hates Trump and Trumpism and MAGA.
No, I figured.
And his whole solution is, I'm just going to stand back and let this cook.
Hey, look, honestly, in the 90s, he had some pretty impressive folks to donate to. No questions. Some folks that were pretty impressive political figures and leaders and these sorts of things. And here we have our first experience with the walking block camp, as I call it.
Yep, the middle tier of the husks. What happens when you take 3 husks and put them together and one person puts their asshole and their legs together and turn into a gun?
Yeah, no, it's some Cronenberg horror nonsense. I still say that these guys
Actually, funny thing about that, I always say, what the David Cronenberg is that whenever I see body horror stuff.
Well, they really honestly could have, had they wanted to. And there, you can kind of see it in a few spots in this particular game where there is a room within this game series for a body horror game.
Well, you kind of get it with the husks.
It's
and
true.
with the husk analogs
Normandy,
in
do you
Mass Effect
copy?
3.
Joker here.
Anyway, boss fight is
Signal
coming
three,
up.
Commander,
Indeed.
below you.
And
Time to show these
by the
things
way,
we
game
do as
mechanics
good as we
stuff,
get.
that cannon
Edie,
that the
bring the defense towers online.
2 girls, 1
Errors
cup
in the calibration
type
software are
husk
easily
shoots,
rectified,
Yeah.
but
it's
it will
just
take
nothing
time
more
to bring
than
the towers
the
to full power.
line of
recommend a
biotic
defensive
explosions
posture.
effect
I
that
will
Jack
not be able to
uses.
mask
Yeah,
the
it's
increased
still annoying.
generator output.
Oh yeah,
Collectors
very
will
good.
respond with force to stop them.
And I can't remember really my last
Let's stop
playthrough,
them.
but
Easy enough.
I can remember very
Maybe not.
vividly that
Enemy
thing's killed.
reinforcements closing in.
Uh,
I suggest you ready weapons.
for various reasons. But this is
Pro tip, by the way, here, when they say take defensive positions, your only option,
Just the
because
thing to help.
otherwise it's wide open, is here.
Yep.
This little thing off to the left when you're facing the array from the door that you come into this arena.
Yep. This is not. This fight right here can get overwhelming if you don't. Like if you think, oh, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go over here, and then you realize, oh, this is terrible. This is not really cover.
The individual collectors and husks aren't bad. It's the
shot
boss in
Yeah.
this fight that just drives me batshit, even on the casual difficulty level of playing in this zone.
Understood.
Yeah, no. True story.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that you gotta be aware of is the husks that come up and say, I want a hug!
Yeah.
No hugs. Puke on you.
No hug for you. Now, see, I always make the mistake of not telling the guys to get up here with me, and then having to
Doubtful that enemy has
heal them a
withdrawn.
couple of times in
Reinforcements
this
likely.
fight. That's kind of my issue there.
Burn through any armor.
Run around here.
I need to collect thermal clips.
Yep.
Because hey, let's make it more like a real shooter game.
Reinforcements.
Like,
It's nice to
no.
be noticed.
No, the cooldown or the heat up and cooldown mechanic was just fine.
It was fine enough that I believe in 3 you can pick up an old-fashioned one, and that's still my favorite weapon in 3. And 3 has some really fantastic weapons. I don't think, and I'm not saying it's the best weapon in 3. I'm saying it's my favorite weapon.
Yeah, and in Andromeda, even there's this thing called the vintage heatsink system, which turns thermal clip style guns into old-fashioned heat up, cool down type guns, and it's invaluable for a couple of things like the Ket's sniper rifle.
Yeah. No, there's so much I love about Andromeda,
Or
and
no,
we'll
was
go
the-
into that when we do a playthrough of Andromeda. But
Oh, we're gonna do a playthrough of Andromeda?
we're going to do a playthrough of Andromeda. We're doing the
boy.
whole damn thing.
I guess.
Uh,
I mean, there was a whole damn big map. That's what we'll do to make up for the fact that it was a year and a half between 1 and 2. We'll do Andromeda. That's gonna be interesting.
it's not as linear, I think, but it's a beautiful game, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people
Gotta be
disagree.
more soon.
But
Oh, what it had was so much potential, and it did so many things right, but the things that it did wrong were glaring.
And again, we'll talk about it when we get there. I would like to point out that this is what we were talking about, this frickin' thing, which is an absolute beast of
We
a
need that system online.
A new one.
enemy, which
And
is
that thing right there is what pisses me off.
Yep.
The whole, I'm going to pause all gameplay, get, a solid 15 seconds of pure invulnerability.
Yep.
It was just one of those things. It was either too long or the fact that it was completely invulnerable. If it could have been overwhelmed by power combos or by hitting it with a heavy weapon or whatever.
Yeah. No. These things are absolutely, and they appear. They're not a common enemy, so you don't see a
I think
lot
he attacked 5 of them throughout the game. Okay, and he didn't do the thing that pisses me off in harder difficulty playthroughs, which is it could have this tiniest sliver of health and do that recharge thing.
Yeah, that was always bothersome. And here's the, you don't want to be a spaceship. getting hit by
Ground defense.
Ground defense. And especially in that, your shields aren't up.
Although I'm not sure this thing relies on shields. I think it just relies on the fact that it's so massive and most of it
Don't
is
let him get
rock.
away.
Probably.
That ship is huge. Exactly how are we
Anyway,
supposed to
Team
catch
Rocket's
it?
blasting off again!
They took
Indeed.
Egan and Salmon and
I,
Lula. Do something.
On one playthrough,
I didn't want it
I
to end this
secretly
way.
wished
I
that they
did
would
what I
taken
could.
Ashley.
More than most,
Uh,
Shepard.
Well, to take the Vermeer Survivor would have
I
added
know
some
that name.
really
Sure, I
serious,
remember you.
like
Some type of big
tension to the
alliance
whole
hero.
thing, and have
Commander
it start
Shepard, Captain of the
a
Normandy, the
I
first
guess it would
human
be
Spectre,
secondary timer.
savior of the Citadel.
If you don't get there,
Yeah.
like
You're in the
if you don't
presence of a
haul
god,
ass
back from the
and
dead.
do just the recruitment and
Oh,
just
the
the
good
loyalty
people we
missions,
lost and you
right,
left
before-
behind.
Yep.
Figures.
and get
Screw
Ashley to
this.
risk the Vermeer
I'm done with you
Survivor
alliance
dying.
types.
Yep. And of course, Ashley's armor has pink, so that you
I thought you were
know
dead, Commander.
that it's a girl.
We all did.
It's like RC and Transformers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wait a
It's
minute.
been too long,
you get-
Ash.
there's
How have you been?
You managed to get a handshake?
It? You
Well,
show
right
up
now
after 2
she's
years
wondering
and
what
act
the
like
hell's
nothing's
happening.
happened. I
She
would have
only
followed
figures
you
out that
anywhere,
we're Cerberus
Commander.
because
I thought
they
you were
went
gone.
and painted our armor white,
You were more
gold,
than our
and,
commander.
and
Why didn't you try to
and
contact
black
me?
instead
Why
of the
didn't you let me
black
know
with
you
the
were
red and
alive?
white stripe. Those bastards.
I usually get slapped.
She slapped you.
Oh no, I meant that like in life.
I
I
was
think
there for
women
2
usually slap me.
years.
Oh,
You've moved on with your
That's-
career.
this
and
is
your
Johnny
life.
Depp
Why
problem
are
of
you
that one.
losing?
No, I
moved
don't know
on.
what I did to deserve that.
But here you are,
I
pulling
couldn't
me
have
back
possibly
in.
deserved that whack. No,
And
that
now
one I
we've got
deserved.
Yeah, no,
reports
I'm
about
pretty
you
sure I
and
always deserve
Cerberus.
it.
Reports.
But
I mean, you already
no, there's
knew.
a
Alliance intel said Cerberus.
and she's
could be behind
not.
this
The thing
intelligence.
is that
I
Ash
got a
is
tip
not.
that this one could be
Is
the next to get
absolutely
hit.
not wrong.
I went to Anderson, but he wouldn't talk. But
yeah,
there were rumors that you weren't dead.
She is not wrong
Worse,
in
that
this.
you were working for the enemy.
She's not empathetic. She's not really seeing things from any perspective but her own.
but and she isn't even like
Building the
willing
defense towers
to
was just a cover story.
actually like
The Alliance sent you here to
hear
investigate me,
anything.
didn't they?
Right.
I was
She's
sent
just,
here
you've
to
got that,
investigate Cerberus,
you've
not
got
you.
a ship with that
I
logo
wanted to
on
believe
it. You're
you were
working
alive.
with those people.
I just
What
never
the
expected
hell is that
anything like
Solarian
this.
doing there? Hi, Garrus.
You've turned your back on
No, the
everything you
Solarian's
stood
cool.
for.
He sings.
Yeah, trust me. We're I'm gonna find a dancing Vorcha and we're gonna put on a little number.
Oh man, that would have been cool if we had to do that. And we got a dancing Vorcha.
I'm in negotiations for Blasto to show up.
Oh, I love me some Blasto.
Ash, you know me.
Love
You
me
know
some
I only do
Blasto.
this for the right reason. You
Yeah,
saw it
it's one of
yourself.
those things. You're absolutely right.
Collectors are
Everything
targeting
Ashley is
human
doing
colonies,
here
and
is
they're working with the Reapers.
completely
I'd like to
within
believe you, Shepard,
reason.
but I don't trust
And then later
Cerberus.
she said,
And it
and
worries
later
me
on,
that you
I
do.
don't show it off because
What did they
you
do
know
to you?
who watches
What if they're
YouTube
behind
videos
it?
to read.
What if they're the
But
ones
she'll
working
send
with
us
the
an email
collectors?
saying, "Look,
Damn it, Williams. You're so
I'm gonna
focused
cut you-
on
I'm gonna give you
Cerberus
the
that you're
benefit of the
ignoring the
doubt."
real threat.
Now,
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
I can't go with you though."
now you right
You're
here
letting how
for a
you
minute
feel
or
about
so.
their history
We've had
get
a
in the
very
way of the
glaring
facts.
thing.
Or maybe you
Something that
feel
I
like you owe
always had a
Cerberus because they
problem
saved you.
with,
Maybe it's
fantasy
you.
games and
Doesn't
sci-fi
matter.
games, which
I
is
still know where my
Uber.
loyalties lie. I'm an Alliance
the
soldier.
armor
It's in
that
my
is
blood.
very
I'm reporting
much
back to the
shaped
Citadel. I'll let them decide if they believe your story.
to make sure you know
That they have boobs.
that they have chesticles, as it were.
I could use someone like you in my crew, Ash. It'll be just like
I
old
haven't heard
times.
that since I was in high school.
No,
Well, I
it
thought
won't.
I thought.
I'm no fan of
That was-
aliens, but Cerberus has a history of being extremist.
And
I'll never
you know,
work for a group like that.
Well, and
So long,
eventually,
Commander.
I think it's once
Good
we
luck.
get to Ilium, I'll be spending money
Yeah.
on the Kestrel armor, which
now
gets rid of the boob thing. I mean, there's still
Yeah.
contours out there because he can't
I mean,
switch
Joker,
flat.
send a
yours is
shuttle to
not
pick us up.
yours is not
Had
bad.
enough of this
Yours
colony.
is not bad. It's the fact that Ashley's are so pronounced. Yeah, thank you. But what I do love that BioWare in the future does away with that for their fantasy games and whatnot that come after this. They don't have that sort of
Shepard, good work on Horizon. Hopefully the
unrealistically
collectors will think
prominent.
twice before attacking another colony.
I mean, they're not so delicate that they need to be
That was our first strike.
conforming.
How do we find them the
container.
next time?
The collectors will be more careful now.
I
but
mean, not
think
unless
we
you
can
have
find
like
another
porn
way to
star
lure them in.
implants.
It's true. It's true.
Ash said the Alliance got a tip about me and
But
Cerberus.
here we have.
Was that you?
You're wearing your.
Oh,
N7.
God
I may
damn
have
it,
let
he
it
betrayed
slip
the
that you
fuck
were
out of
alive.
us.
Well, of course he
And
did.
with Cerberus.
You risked the lives of my friend, my crew,
I'm not
and
even
that
mad
entire
at
colony.
him because
Just
I'm
tell
like,
you were the collectors there?
this. I knew you were going to do it,
Risk.
and
I
you
suspected
know
the
what?
collectors
I
were looking for you
appreciate
or people
that
connected
you
to
proved
you.
me right.
Now I know
Well,
for certain.
and the
I told you
whole,
I wouldn't sit and wait
in
while the
this
Reapers
case,
and Collectors gather
It
strength.
was,
Besides,
this
they
wasn't
would
the
have hit another
bad
colony
betrayal.
eventually,
This was
and without
the
a way to predict which one.
you should
they would
have
abducted
informed
everyone.
me sort of thing. It's the subsequent
We have to
missions
make sure
where
they
it's
don't
like,
abduct
you
anyone
son
else.
of a bitch. If
I
I
want the
were
collectors
there
stopped
right
for that
now, I'd
very reason.
strangle you within
That's
an
why
inch
we're
of your
doing
life.
this, Shepard.
Yeah.
I'm devoting all
I
resources
think
to
this
finding
is
a way
what
through the Omega
Republicans
4
think
relay.
Jed Bartlett
We
is.
have to hit them where they live. Your team
Honestly,
will need to be
I think they
as
thought
will their
that's
resolve.
that's
There's no
who he
looking
was,
back.
or who he is.
The same goes for you.
And
I assume you put
I
your
really
past
wish
relationships
Democrats
behind
were
you.
a little bit sometimes. Sometimes, not all the times.
None of your damn business.
If it
I
affects
do,
the mission,
but
Can we
better
just,
you
you
should
know,
leave it
can we
behind.
just stop
Shepard,
pretending like
once you
there's such
find a way
thing
through the
as
Omega 4 relay to the
rising
Collector
above and being
homeworld,
honorable about
there's
things?
no guarantee you'll
when they
return.
go low, we kick
To
them in
have
the
any
head.
hope of survival,
That's
you
kind
and
of
your
my
entire team
motto.
must be fully committed to this.
It's the motto of the Republican Party. So
Let me worry about them.
Oh,
You just find
well,
us a
say
way
what
to
you will.
collect
They
their
play to win.
homeworld.
Yeah.
I just want to be upfront about
But
your
no,
odds.
and
You'll
again,
need
it's
everyone at
it's
their
kind of
best.
I actually
I've forwarded
played
3
this
dossiers.
before
Keep
I
building
saw
your team
West
while
Wing.
I find a way through the relay.
And saw West Wing
collectors
afterwards,
will be watching
and was like, "Wow, this guy is an actor. This guy is a real actor's actor." But here we are, back on our ship with
Getting some aftermath in.
getting some after, having our aftercare moment with Kelly.
We really need aftercare with Kelly.
Everybody needs aftercare with Kelly.
It was good to see her.
I'm a fan of
I
Kelly.
chose to keep a positive attitude. It went well. She didn't shoot me in the face for wearing your guys' uniform.
Well,
And
anytime you have an interaction where you don't get shot in the face, it's a good
probably
thing.
a setup or something, but it was still good to see
Yeah,
Ash.
it's crazy.
Operations Chief Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Operations Chief Williams. I guess that makes her what,
Another
E8
reminder
now?
of how I lost
Operations
time.
chief?
Or is she now like a warrant officer of some type?
Their ranking on this is really weird. Operations chief is kind of more of a
I guess we're really
position
going to do it.
than it
at the
would be
Omega
like a
4 relay.
rank.
Take the fight
Here,
to
by
the
the way, I
collectors in
did
person.
a little bit of
Looking
clever
forward to the
editing.
action.
I
After
cut
seeing what those
Jacob's
bastards did
thing
on
for
Horizon,
last
though,
because this is where we are
makes
going
you
to be
think.
opening up on the loyalty missions.
I need you sharp and focused if we're
What
going to
we're
get this
going to do
done,
is the
Taylor.
programming.
That's
notes
what I
that
meant,
I'm gonna do
Commander.
all
I
recruitment
don't want any
missions,
distractions when we
then
hit the
all the
relay.
loyalty
Gonna go
missions,
take care of a little
Right.
unfinished business.
Yeah.
Then
I
we'll
imagine
be
everyone else
good
is
to go.
too.
Except for one little
closure,
recruitment and
you know?
loyalty mission. That'll save for the very end.
Right. Well, that comes at the end.
So
But
anyway, we hope everyone enjoyed their time with us, and we will come back next time for our first recruitment and loyalty mission. So, see ya.
Deuce.